Okay, guys, welcome. So now in this portion of the whole video playlist for Facebook ads, we're going to be talking about lead generation. Now, lead generation is one of those special kinds, and arguably probably my favorite other than reach. And lead generation is one of those kind of ads where if you really understand the funnel, then you'll do very well at this. And let's go ahead and just talk about the funnel. Even though I've talked about it in the previous videos, let's just talk about it one more time. A funnel here is a process by which a group of people go through a series of steps to reach the end goal, which 99% of the time is the conversion or the sale. Okay. And the mistake that 99% of the people that are doing when it comes to performing Facebook ads for their Shopify stores, for e-commerce in general, is that they're creating ads where they're skipping the awareness and the consideration phases and they're going straight to the conversion. And, it's one of those things where it's like, listen, you got to buy me a steak dinner before you marry me kind of thing. It works the same way when it comes to advertising, right? People have to be aware of you before they purchase. Is that fair to say, right? Like, I have to know that you exist before I purchase your product, right? By nature. And people also have to be interested. We call this interaction, right? Facebook calls this consideration, we call this interaction, but it's fair to say that the person has to somehow interact with you before they can buy your product, right? They have to go on your website, they have to maybe message you on Instagram, whatever the case may be that it takes to purchase the product. They have to somehow interact with you first, okay? And this is fair to say. Now, lead generation is one of those type of ads that create probably the most long-term group of customers for me ever. And basically what lead generation does is that what you're doing is you're creating more leads. Remember when we talked about what a conversion is? A conversion, very similar to religion, like I said, is that when you get somebody to convert from one religion to another, let's say from Buddhism to Christianity, what you're doing is you're creating a conversion, right? You're converting them. Well, in similar marketing fashion, you're converting a lead, right? Somebody who is a potential buyer to what is now a consumer, so it's a conversion, it's a buyer, right? When you do this, this is referred to as a conversion. When you convert somebody to this phase, it means that instead of them becoming a viewer of your website now, they have become a customer of your website. And when they become a customer, well, hopefully you made your money back and made a profit. That's everybody's goal at the end of the day. Well, lead generation is what creates that initial interaction phase where they become aware and they interact with you all in the same ad together. And the way this works is that when some people see a lead generation type ad, is they'll click on the link, and if they're interested, they will type their email in to receive the free whatever it is, right? It might be a free ebook, it might be a free video course, it might be a free quiz, whatever the case may be, to generate leads. Now, businesses use this all the time, and if you're in the marketing agency world, as we are, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create lead generation ads for businesses that need more leads. This is one of the easiest ways to make more money, right? And you just go to businesses and say, hey, what's your conversion rate? And most businesses have a baseline conversion rate about 5 to 10%, especially physical locations. We could say about 15%, right? So if we know that every 15 people will purchase a product out of every 100, you can make the offer to a business and say, listen, if I can get 100 people to your store, how much are you going to pay me? And let's say they tell you $500, right? If they tell you $500, well, guess what? The average lead generation ad is going to cost you, $2 to $3 per lead. And that's on average, right? So if you're making if you're being charged $2 to $3 per lead, right? And you need 100 leads, or you need 100 visitors to get 15 leads, what you need to do is you need to do the math and figure out what's going to be the cost of my lead to generate, right? What is it going to cost me to generate 15, 100, 1,000, whatever the number is, a certain amount of leads, and you're going to take that number and you're going to charge a higher price at that number, right? And the easy way to figure this out is just to create a bid maximum. So you have a CPM, which is referred to as a CPM. A CPM is a cost per every 1,000 impressions that the ad gets. And from those 1,000 impressions, you can extract a certain or extrapolate a certain integer or a certain number. Integer is just a fancy way of saying number, right? Of the amount of people who will convert on that ad. So let's say the CPM is $15, and you know that for out of 1,000 people, you get by default 100. Well, then that means for every $15, you get 100 people to sign up. If you're $15 in and you just multiply that by 5, you can get them 75 leads, $75. You could spend $75 for 500 leads, right? So what this is going to lead is, no pun intended, but this is a lead generation type ad. If you want more leads and you're confident in your funnel building process, this is going to be the type of ad for you. If you know that if as long as you get that customer's email, right, and you put a certain sales process in front of them, whether you get somebody on the phone to communicate them, whether you have a set of blogs that you know that they will eventually convert after, or maybe an ebook that will get them to convert, and the ebook is that good that they'll buy your coaching or whatever the case may be, this is the ideal ad to go with, okay? Let's go ahead and move on to our next portion, which is our messages type ad, okay, on Facebook. And the way that you could go ahead and view this video and all the other videos on our ads is just simply click the link in the description and you'll see a playlist of all the Facebook ad videos that we're creating here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and move on, and don't forget to subscribe to Ecom Warriors. All right, guys, let's move on.